Hey there guys, so in the previous video I went over basically how I train in general, being 4 sets of 10, and then explained a little bit about the off season and then pre-comp prep versus comp prep. For the off season for front squats, my goals are typically 3 sets of 20. Why 20 reps? Well, 60 total reps done with a lightweight means I can get, a good amount of technique work in, as well as a fair bit of volume. Time under tension for 20 reps is quite significant, so it also has a conditioning effect when it comes to heart and lungs. In the off season, I try and build up my conditioning as much as possible along with my technique. And because it's lighter, you have the opportunity to sort of feel what is going wrong. And then when you find your weaknesses, it is easier to address. By the time, you've done 3 sets of 20 for 7-8 weeks, you've accumulated quite a lot of volume, especially if you're squatting 2 to 3 times a week. And that technique holds you in really, really good stead for when the weights get heavier. So going back to the 3 sets of 20, working on the technique is a very, very big part. You learn to push your knees out to the side and make sure that your hips drop beneath you. And that will carry over hugely to the traditional squat. You want to squat back, you want to sit back, you want your hips beneath you. You don't want your chest to fall forward. Sometimes I play around with how I do the front squats. Like this time I wasn't holding the bar at all, which simply means if my chest drops forward, I lose the bar. So it's a really good way of making sure that you keep your chest up. You're standing up straight, you're pressing your knees out to the side and basically hitting depth and learning how to hit depth while keeping your chest up. Because when you start squatting really heavy, especially with belt and wraps or the traditional squat, if you get down, into the base position and your chest drops forward, it is so much easier to lose the weight, lose a lot of the strength that you will have gained, because your technique's fallen apart. You want to try and minimize the degree that your back as a lever works against you. So if your chest is dropping forward and the weight is shifting significantly forward over your center of gravity, your back just has to work overtime to bring it up. And as I was saying, I highly doubt it's your legs that fail on a squat. I really think it's going to be your lower back and core that is going to give out, because you look at the muscle mass that you have in lower back and core and it's far less than what you have in legs. So from that standpoint, I try and minimize the leverage effect against my own body. Once I've done my off-season work, maybe 8 weeks at 3 sets of 20, I then sort of go back to more a pre-season or pre-comp prep, I should say, style of training. So that's when I do my more 4 sets of 10. The load is obviously heavier. I can start upping the weight a little bit more. I'm still getting the volume, 4 sets of 10, still quality volume, which is going to lead to a lot more hypertrophy, and that mass is going to be beneficial to my heavy competition prep. And then when I start leading into my competition prep, I drop my reps back to probably 3 sets of 3 for my, big compound movements. Could be 3 sets of 5. I just want a more significant weight. And then I'll start to do other assistant movements to try and help keep, my conditioning up. I'm not really going to say to help try and grow more hypertrophy within the muscle themselves, because, I'm not going to lose any with the 3 sets of 3, but then it's more about finding your weaknesses, using your assistant movements to work, on whatever's weak. So true off season, 3 sets of 20, pre-comp prep, 4 sets of 10, and then when I start heading into my comp prep, it's pretty much 3 sets of 3, and then throw in a few assistant exercises along the way. If you guys have any further questions, comment below. Otherwise, have a great day, and until next time.